Hey guys, welcome to EOC Explained. Alright, we're going to go over question 42. I suggest pausing and going over this real quick, otherwise we're going to get rolling. Alright, the graph shows the basic changes in a forest community after a disturbance. Something happened. Alright, so let's quickly go over this graph so we know what's up. We'll highlight a little bit because highlighting is awesome. So the title of the graph is this: Changes in Forest Community. So something changed, right? So on our y-axis we have total biomass. On the x-axis we have time since disturbance. So that's the amount of elapsed time, right? Alright, so something to note. Biomass is essentially stuff. So bio means living. Mass means stuff. It's very bad handwriting, but we'll have to work with it. Alright, so living stuff, right? Okay, the information shown in the graph suggests that the changes in the forest community were caused by what? So, first off, this is what we know. Something went down, right? Something big went down. And the reason I say that is because look how low, remember the living stuff, look how low it is. From our total graph, like, wow. That means it almost like something went down and almost wiped everything out, because that's close to zero. If there's zero biomass, there's zero living stuff, right? So that means like everything's wiped out. And we are talking about the forest community, so a bunch of different things, right? So we know something went down, it wiped out almost everything, and then it, over a pretty decent amount of time, everything started to come back, right? And then it slowly transitioned back to being, steady, right? So let's look at these. Let's look at F. Tree leaf replacement after a storm. Okay, let's say there was a storm that just blew off the leaves of a tree. Now, I've never seen one of those storms, but I'm sure they exist, that they only blow leaves off of trees. Is that going to practically wipe out the biomass of a forest community? Is that going to practically wipe out all the living stuff in this forest? A storm blowing leaves off of a tree? I highly doubt it, okay? So F, no good. F, we're just going to get rid of that one. Okay, let's look at this one. Let's look at J. Decreased species diversity. So that's, I guess that's a disturbance of some kind, but that doesn't really tell us what. That's just telling, that's another outcome of something. That's not something going down, right? So that just means there's slightly less different types of species. Slightly less diversity in species. Well, I don't think that could cause this much of a destruction. Like, again, this much mass destruction at one point just by dropping the number of species a little bit. Yeah, that's not what we're looking for. Again, when you see something that wipes out this much stuff, something went down, okay? Alright, so now we're left with two things that could possibly destroy, right? We have G and we have H. One is repeated habitat destruction, and one is succession after a fire. So the information shown in the graph suggests that changes in the forest community were caused by, well, if they were caused by repeated habitat destruction, they're not going to be, it's not going to be this drastic, right? Something drastic happened. If it's repeated, then the forest community will, if it keeps coming back, it's going to adapt to that, right? Whereas succession after a fire means bouncing back after there's a huge forest fire. Well, if there's a forest fire, that's going to wipe out a lot of the biomass. They're either going to leave or they're going to die. It's literally one of those two things, because in a forest fire, not only do you have fire everywhere consuming all the trees, so anything that lives in a tree is either going to leave or die. You also have extreme amounts of heat, so that's anything around the trees, anything on the ground is going to have to leave or die. It's going to wipe everything out, okay? And of course, there's also, smoke everywhere. It's burning up all the oxygen. There's not going to be any place to live at all. So something like a fire could cause this kind of devastation. So this is really going to be the best answer choice, okay? So let's circle it red, because that's the color of fire. We'll go ahead and color it in too. There's fire everywhere. All right, repeated habitat destruction. If you were going to get it wrong, that might be the best way to get it wrong, but again, that's not the best answer. So let's burn that one on out. Alright, so again, the answer is going to be G. Hopefully you guys got G. Awesome job. Have an awesome day.